Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm going to be going over 5 quick tips to help speed up your computer. Whether it's slow, old, or just has a bunch of bloat on it, I'm going to be showing you how to increase performance in games and everyday activities. Let's get into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure all your drivers are up to date. So the drivers are basically the software functions that make hardware work. So there's 2 different ways to do this. The first way is just for your graphics card. So what you're going to want to do if you have an NVIDIA graphics card is go into GeForce Experience and go into drivers. Once you're in drivers, you want to either use Express or custom installation. I normally just use Express. It'll prepare to install. Then it will ask you if you want to allow this to make changes to your device. Obviously you just want to hit yes on that. Then once it's done installing, you just want to make sure that you hit restart now. And that will just apply all the updates as any update would. And then you'll see this screen right here. It just says you're up to date, and that means that you're all good and your graphics card is all ready to go and has all the newest software. So the next way you want to update your drivers, this is for everything else, so like your CPU, your audio interfaces, your keyboard, mice, everything basically, your system, your motherboard. Well, actually motherboard mostly uses BIOS, which is another video I can make. But to update this, you're just going to want to go into your search bar and type in device manager. And once you're here, as you can see, you have all your different options. So you have your audio inputs. So I have my monitors and I have my audio interface. So if you want to update drivers on your audio interface, you would just go here and hit update driver. And as you can see, you can either search for a driver or you can just search your computer files. So this is if you download it from their site and you want to update it, but normally you just want to hit just search automatically. It will search the web and your files and whatever, and it will look for a driver. And you can see I already have the newest drivers installed, but if you didn't, you would just hit install and it would basically be the similar process to what you do for your GPU. And it would just go through and then it'd say newest installed and you'd be all good to go. And then the other thing you want to do, the others you can update, as you can see, like I have my Bluetooth connector, your webcam, you have you can do your graphics card from here too, although it's not as good if you're using an NVIDIA one as doing it from the GeForce Experience, because that's what it's made for. You can upgrade your keyboard drivers, your mice drivers, your processor drivers, printers everywhere. So this is where you would update basically most of your drivers, and this will help speed up your computer at least a little bit. It might not be the biggest change you're going to notice, but it will help and make everything run a lot smoother. The next thing you can try is something you probably heard of. It's called overclocking. Now a lot of times this can seem scary, or you don't really want to risk doing something that can decrease the stability of your computer. However, using this free tool called MSI Afterburner, it makes it super easy to overclock your GPU. Now CPU you're still going to have to do from the BIOS. That's something I could make a video on if you guys want. However, this is just quick. It will help your performance in game if you want to do it. So the first thing you need to do is go into settings, and you want to unlock voltage control and voltage monitoring, and you want to hit apply. To do this, you're going to have to restart the app. And then as you can see, you now can change these sliders. So if you want to overclock, you just bring these sliders up a little bit. And when you do that, you also want to increase the power limit, because basically if you try to increase your clocks with too low of a power, it will cause stability issues. So you want it to be able to have enough power. But as you see, this will also increase your temp limit and basically make your stuff run hotter because it's running at faster speeds. So it's really up to you. If you don't want to mess with this stuff, that's understandable, because it could decrease longevity, but that's only if you do crazy overclocking. As you can see, if you just do a little bit like this, don't want to bring that all the way up to 104, but if you just do a little bit of overclocking, you can increase performance, and you can obviously mess with this and go back and forth and try to find what works best for you and what's most stable. But this is a really easy tool to help you do this without, having to go through the BIOS and a bunch of different profiles and all that. And I find it much easier than going through BIOS. It's really quick. So that's overclocking for you. Just make sure you hit apply. You can just close this and it will have your GPU overclocked and you'll have a little bit of performance boost. The next thing I want to bring up is a disk cleanup. So your disks, SSDs, and hard drives get slower as you fill them up. And a lot of times there'll be a lot of junk files or repeat files. If you just want to clean that up and get rid of it and make your computer run a little bit faster, Windows has a built-in disk cleanup tool. So as you can see, if you just click on it here, you choose the drive you want to clean, you hit OK, and then it will go through, and it says it may take a few minutes, but it will go through and it will get rid of all unnecessary files like old Windows files that are no longer in use or repeat files. Like as you can select, you can see in this menu right here, temporary internet files. So this is like if your RAM ran out of space and it puts them on your hard drive, or download program files. So like the download files for programs that you already downloaded, Windows error reports. So if your computer crashed and it saved a report, you can get rid of that. And it will also tell you how much storage that's going to do. Temporary files, stuff in your recycling bin. So just getting rid of all that stuff, cleaning that out. Stuff in your downloads folder if you've already moved to other folders. Just make sure whatever you're selecting, you don't have any files that you want to keep in there, because it will get rid of it. But then you set clean up system files with using the administration authorization. Hit OK. And then go through again, clean out the ones you selected. And when you get here, you just hit OK and delete files. I'm not going to do this right now because I don't have any files I want to delete, but if you are sure that they're ones you want to get rid of, most time it's fine to just do the temporary internet files and all those kind of things. You would just hit delete files, and then that would clean up your drive and increase speed of your computer by just a little bit. Now, mind you, not all these things are going to increase speed by a lot, but they do add up. So it's really good to go through and do this every once in a while just to make sure that everything's running smoothly, up to date, and as quick as you possibly can. All right, let's get into the next one. So this next one is a very big one, especially when you're starting up your computer. So if you go into the search bar here and you check and you look up startup, these are all the apps that start when you open your computer. And when you have apps starting when you open your computer, it's obviously going to decrease performance because they're going to be running in the background, and they're also going to be slowing your computer down a lot when it starts up because they all need to open at the same time. So for example, there's certain things like your keyboard settings that are all saved on that you don't want to get rid of. So like if I turn this off, when I turn on my computer, my lighting files would not be saved in my computer, and I'd have to go and I'd have to open up this software anyway. So that's fine to have open, but a lot of times things like Discord, even though it says no impact, you don't really want those on to start up when you start up your computer because it will slow it down. It will have to go through all the updates and all that kind of stuff. And you can see they're labeled either high impact, no impact, low impact, whatever. But you just want to go through here. If you see a file that you don't, or an app that you're not going to use immediately when you start up your computer, it's just you just go through, turn it off, turn it off. I don't use Skype, so I can turn that off. You don't want to turn off Vanguard if you play Valorant, because then it won't let you launch Valorant. You're gonna have to go through and fix all that and try to figure out what it is, and it takes a lot of troubleshooting. But anyways, so there's some things that you don't want on. You just turn them off and then you just close it and set it and forget it. For my last tip, I want to talk about uninstalling bloatware. So a lot of times if you get a pre-built, or if you have a laptop, there'll be a lot of bloatware, or even if you've just downloaded programs over time that you don't need anymore. What you want to do is just want to go into uninstall, add or remove programs right here. You can go through and look at all your programs. For example, I don't use Ableton Live, so if I just go here and uninstall it, it'll prepare to remove, and then it will go through whatever the process is. You just, like, are you sure you want to delete this? Yes, yes, and then it will get rid of it. And like I said before, when you have a lot of things on your disk, it will slow down your computer. So by deleting this, It'll give me more space on my disk. It will make everything else load faster, run faster, searching for files will be faster, and all that. So I'm just gonna let this load, and then I'll show you the rest of the process. So once it gets to this point, it will ask you if you want to allow us to make changes to your device. So you just hit yes. And then it will just continue loading like this. And then it's almost done loading. And once it gets to the end, as you can see, it will give you a timer. So that was just finding all the files and getting them all ready, and this is just, now it's deleting them. So I'll get back to you 15 seconds. As you can see, it's now done loading, and there's no longer Ableton Live here. If I try to search it up in the search bar, these are different files from Ableton, but you can see the program is no longer on my computer. And yeah, so that will just get rid of some files, help you clean out your disk, and if you didn't want to just go through the disk drive and you want to do it manually and delete some programs you didn't want, that will allow you to do that and speed up your computer. So if this video helped you, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and click the notification bell for more videos in the future. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.